All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wachakodash. I want to get double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone who rule well, and peace, blessing, and salutations to the whole elect of Israel. And this is the brother Zakaria from the GMS Des Moines branch, coming again another lesson on the heathens will be under servitude. To cut that madness on people. These guys saying that other nations can make it. People believe that all nations can be saved. But you adding and taking away from the scriptures because the scriptures don't say that. And I got some scriptures to go into it. And there's plenty more. But this is what the Spirit has given me. And I'm going to put it on wax to edify. So this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10. It say, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So who led us in captivity? All these nations had part. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and jump down to it real quick. This first Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 10, it say, what nation had not had part in her kingdom and gotten for spoils? Who's the her? Who's the her kingdom? The Israelites. All nations had part in putting their hands on the apple of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai people, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All these nations had a part in ruling over us and having us captives. So it says, back in this Revelation, he that lead in captivity shall go into captivity. So these nations led us into captivity. They got to go into captivity. It said, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. They killed us with the sword. They slaughtered us. So that's going to be paid upon their own head. So this is going to come upon all the heathen. It say, here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So this is what we patiently waiting for. This is the faith that we have on that big payback. That the Lord is going to pay our enemies back for what they have done unto us. This is Psalm chapter 148 and verse 18, just going into who the saints are. It says, let them praise the name of Yahweh, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye Yahweh. So just showing and highlighting who those saints are, who's patiently waiting. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Because we waiting on the Lord. The Lord said, wait ye upon me till I rise up to the prey. Because he said his determination is to gather the nations. It says the day of the Lord is upon all the heathen. While people saying that the heathen can be saved, no. The Lord said the day of the Lord is upon all the heathen. To fuck them up. It said, wait ye upon me till I rise up to the prey. The Lord is against these heathen. It says, matter of fact, let me jump down. Let me see, where is it? Salakia. Let me get to it real quick. Yep. This Psalm chapter 147, verse 19, it says, he showed this word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation. I'm going to say it again. He had not dealt so with any nation. He not dealing with them. He ain't fucking with them. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. So just highlighting the point that the Lord is only dealing with Israel. That's who he died for. The Lord said he sent for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Not all people. Those that were under the covenant. That agreements. Everybody wasn't part of that. All nations were not part of that. This is jumping back. Let me see. Yep. This Psalm chapter 149 verse 5. It say, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. This going into the kingdom. This was going to take place in the kingdom of heaven. This is what we patiently and having faith. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what we waiting on. It says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand to execute vengeance upon the heathen. How they gonna be saved though? But it just said to execute the vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people. How they gonna be saved? How is we equal? Somebody is gonna get somebody gotta get beat across their head with a rod of iron, like that Revelation is going into, which I'm gonna get as well. But you gotta take this out of the scriptures. You adding and taking away. You saying that the heathen can be saved. All nations can be saved. That's not what's written. Somebody getting hit across their head, and it ain't gonna be us. It says, this is what we waiting on. He that lead in captivity shall go into captivity. It said, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. Slavery, servitude. To execute upon them the judgment written, dishonor have all his saints, praise ye Yahweh. This is what we waiting on. This is what we patiently waiting for. To put these nations and these other nations into captivity, like they did us, and to rule over them. This Psalm chapter 2 and verse 8, it say, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. The land that these heathens possess, that's going to be ours. So if we possess their land, we're going to possess the people. Straight cut, straight to the point. You can't disannul this. This is written. These words are faithful and true. The Lord said it is going to happen. His word shall not return unto him void. So to hell what these people think and say, what the scriptures say. Who's teaching the truth? These are the men that show us the way unto salvation, giving you the sense, like it says in the Nehemiah 8 and 8. The true prophets of Yahweh Shai is feeding you the correct and proper doctrine that you should follow. Stop following these other camps, these other guys that's misleading you unto destruction. It says, verse 9, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. What? The Lord just said it, to execute vengeance upon the heathen. He that leadeth captivity shall go into captivity. The Lord got a hit list on the heathen. The main one, Esau, Edom, the top of the heathen. The Lord said we shall do in Edom according to his fury, his anger, roughly paraphrasing. He gonna put his spirit on us to fuck these devils up. And these other nations not escaping this judgment as well. They going into captivity too. So after 1,000 years, Esau, he gonna have to be exterminated. But at least the other nations, they gonna go back to their land. But they still gonna be subjected unto us. So just highlighting the point that these nations will be under servitude under the Israelites. This Revelation chapter 2 and verse 25, it say, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. Hold fast to the truth. Stay faithful, remain faithful in Yahweh Shema Shai, because the reward awaits. The Lord said that the work that we putting in is not in vain. The labor that we putting in for Yahweh Shema Shai is not in vain. The reward awaits. So hold fast. It says, and he that overcometh to keep my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Over the nations? Come on now. Come on now. It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. The Lord just said it in that Psalms too. The heathen that we gonna reign over and beat them with a rod of iron, like it says in Revelations. We got to endure unto the end. The same shall be saved. The Lord is speaking to the Israelites. Right? Because it says in this Amos chapter 3 and verse 1, hear this word that Yahweh has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which are brought up from the land of Egypt. saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for your iniquities. So I'm just highlighting the point here that the Lord is only dealing with Israel. That's who the Lord is dealing with. He ain't dealing with these other nations. So how they gonna be saved? What the fuck is they? What is they being saved from? But it says, I read that Maccabees, because all nations have part in putting their hands on us. So they gotta get it too. They gonna get hit across their head too. This Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1 to say, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And we already know who those strangers talking about, the Israelite foreigners, because the other nation ain't have no part with us. The Lord said Israel shall dwell alone safely. Right? But the separation here, when you hit verse 2, it says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh. This ain't talking about the strangers in verse 1. This talking about the heathen. Verse 2 talking about the heathen. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for service and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. That's what's coming. That's what we waiting on, the patience of the saints. This is the faith of the saints. To rule over our oppressors, because they ruled over us with rigor. And we're going to do the same with them in righteousness. We're going to do the same to them. We're going to rule over them in righteousness with rigor. Double. The Lord said double unto her. Double unto Babylon, a.k.a. America, Esau, Edom. Double unto them nations. These nations in general. But the chief of the nations is Esau, Edom. They got to get it. It's written. This is what we looking forward to, man. The Wadi Yahweh Shem Awashai. This is what we looking forward to. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 6. It says, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Who troubled us all these years? Esau. These other nations, once again, they all have part in it, but it's starting with this fucking devil. So he gonna get it the worst. He gonna be eradicated off the face of the earth after he served 1,000 years of slavery, man. But just highlighting the point, once again, these nations is going into servitude. It's written in the scriptures, and you can't disannul it. Let the Most High be true and every man a liar. Stop believing these false camps, because they not teach you the truth. This Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 16. It says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured. These nations devoured us, so they gonna be devoured. And all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. We gonna fuck these nations up, man. Excuse my language, but that's just what it is. Through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Awashai, we gonna be able to fuck these devils up for what they've done unto us, and we gonna do it in righteousness. Man, the Lord is, man, bro, it's beautiful, bro. All they that devour thee shall be devoured, man. All thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. That's written. It's written. This Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. So like it say, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. And then I put two examples here on reaping in the Spirit and reaping in the flesh. So it says, if someone sows righteousness, kindness, obedience, and truth, they reap good fruit. If someone sows wickedness, violence, corruption, or deceit, they reap judgment and destruction. So just giving an understanding on what I just read in that Galatians. So you reap in this in the Spirit, it's gonna be righteousness, kindness, obedience, truth. It's gonna be good fruit. But if you reap it in the flesh, that's wickedness. It's going to lead to violence, corruption, deceit, and ultimately judgment and destruction. And we already know who's the main one of that. Esau, Edom. He's carnal. So he put his hands on us, on the apple of the Lord's eye, because he sold us. He sold, what he did unto the nation of Israel. He basically beat us about our heritage, pretending to be us. He enslaved us, etc. The whole nine. And it's things that we don't even know about that the Lord gonna judge this devil for. The Lord said he will carry that which is past. So this devil's soul, which is like we just read, like you reap what you sow. So that's what this devil gonna get. He put his hand on the apple of the Lord's eye. So now you gotta face Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The Lord gonna fuck you up. The Lord gonna put his hands on you. And Lord will, he gonna use us to do so. This Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 15. It says, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing, and Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. So that's how the Lord look at these other nations. So why would the Lord save them? It said these nations is counted but nothing but a drop of a bucket. He said they nothing. All nations before him are as nothing. That's how the Lord look at these nations. And people talking about they could be saved. No. This second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54, it says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, like that drop that falleth from a bucket, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So these other nations is nothing unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So why would the Lord save them? And once again, the Lord not even dealing with them. He's only dealing with the nation of Israel, starting with the remnant that's returning back unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is the elect that we praying and hoping to be. That's what the Lord is dealing with. So Esau, Edom, he going to reap what he sowed. You put your hands on the apple of the Lord's eye, so therefore you going to get touched. You got to get touched. The Lord say, since thou hast not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. The Lord wants your head, off with your head. And that's for all these nations. But once again, starting with the chief heathen, Esau, Edom. So just showing that these heathens will be under servitude through scripture. So Lord will, this lesson is edifying. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone who rule well. And peace, blessing, and salutations to the whole elect of Israel. Shalom, Kwam Yashala.